MotorWeek is made possible by Lucas Oil, Auto Value and Bumper to Bumper, and TireRack.com.
General Motors served up its first front-wheel drive appetizer with their compact X cars, the 1980 Chevrolet Citation, Buick Skylark, and others. Then last year came the smaller J cars like the Pontiac J2000 and Cadillac Cimarron. But now it's a mid-size front-wheeler, the A car. This week we test an example from GM's second largest division, Oldsmobile. Enter the Cutlass Ciera. General Motors hasn't exactly been at the head of its class with its first two smallish front-wheel drive efforts, the X and J body cars. So they were determined to pull out all the stops with the A bodies. Oldsmobile has so much faith in their new Ciera that they've made it a part of their Cutlass line, the best-selling nameplate in America. And if our example is any indication, their faith has been well placed. I think the old Ciera is the most handsome of all the A bodies, with a front grille faintly reminiscent of Mercedes-Benz. The lines are arrow-like, with a sloping hood and a bread truck rear. But perhaps most important to potential buyers, it positively exudes good fit and finish. No paint drips and all fender seams meeting head to toe. A base price of $8,900 will deliver a moderately equipped Ciera 2-door, but our mid-priced LS 4-door with most popular options costs $12,600. What that buys you is a sedan that will fit 5 adults in very good comfort. The Ciera has nearly as much interior room as the rear-wheel drive Cutlass, but it's a foot shorter and 600 pounds lighter. The dashboard is highly styled. Though you can get a gauge package, our car came only with a speedometer, fuel gauge, and a rash of warning lights. But we had two complaints. First, the driver's seat. Even with very good lower back support, the seat had so little side support it was easy to slip off in a turn. Second, the front wheel housing protrudes into the floorboard and makes for limited left leg room. They should have taken some of that room for the driver from the trunk. It's huge. Flat, wide, tall, and reasonably deep. By the way, a temporary spare tire is housed under the comfortable cargo floor. The trunk is matched by a large engine compartment designed to house the standard fuel-injected 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, a new 4.3-liter V6 diesel, or this 3-liter V6 gas burner, all with a 3-speed automatic. Despite the room, there are some service problems. Back spark plugs on the V6 will take a contortionist to change. The battery will also be hard to replace since it requires removal of some air conditioning components or a body structural member. On the good side, the engine accessory belts should be a snap to tighten. Unlike most American front drive cars, the Cutlass Ciera seems to have plenty of pep. We found the 40 to 55 passing acceleration time of 5.7 seconds to be quite reasonable for any 2,970-pound sedan. Since the 3-liter engine isn't really that large, GM has made sure that most of the power is at the bottom end. We judged a time of 10.1 seconds and a speed of 53 over our 500-foot stoplight acceleration course reasonable. Mid-size cars tend to have mid-size turning diameters. However, the Ciera's 39-foot curb-to-curb was a couple of feet wider than we expected. But of all the tests, it was in handling that the Ciera performed best. Most drivers were able to exit the course well above the 35-mile-per-hour entry speed. Power, rack, and pinion steering was precise and light, though numb in feel. Understeer and body roll were moderate, and the back end stayed firmly fixed to the pavement. The only limiting factors were the very soft General Steel radial tires and the tendency of the front end to oscillate as if the shock absorbers were worn, probably the result of an engineer's overzealous quest for a smooth ride. Only in the high-speed emergency lane-changing maneuver did we find any tendency for the rear end to swing wide. Fortunately, it was always predictable. Brakes also scored well. From 30 miles per hour, all stops were straight and without alarm. Excellent front-to-rear proportioning, meaning all wheels stopped at the same time, averaged out to 41 feet with no fade. From 55, it was a more skittish story, with fade beginning to appear about halfway through the 6 panic stops. The overall average of 139 feet is still shorter than the norm for this class of car. As for class, if low interior noise is any measure, the Ciera also gets very good grades. 64 decibels at 55 miles per hour is on par with the likes of Cadillacs and Lincolns. But do all GM's efforts and billions of dollars mean that midsize cars can be comfortable and efficient? In a word, yes. The EPA rates this Ciera at 21 city, 33 highway. A combined figure of 24 was recorded during our semester. By the way, the four-cylinder carries a highway rating of 40 and the diesel 44. Despite our normal efforts to find fault with the Oldsmobile Cutlass Ciera, it's apparent that GM gets their diploma on their third try. This is a very well-designed, thrifty, good-handling family sedan for the 1980s. A car that should make the Cutlass name a valedictorian for a long time to come.